Grand Theft Auto 5. GTA 5 is a video game that was released on September 17th, 2013, initially for PS3 and Xbox 360. About a full year later, it would get a remastered version. Looking at you, The Last of Us. No matter how good your game is, that ain't remastered. Either way, it would get re-released for PS4 and Xbox One systems, the current gen for that time period. And it wasn't just to be played, it did at least introduce a new mechanic, a first-person mechanic. Now, you may be thinking, what kind of Nimrod hooligan would pay $60 just for me? I'm that person. My main motive for wanting GTA 5 as a youngin' was for the ragdolls and for the first-person system. Nothing else about the game really interested me, besides a certain other aspect. Don't tell my dad, I promised him I would! And once again, on 2015, it would see another release for PC. GTA 5, behind Skyrim, is still the game with the most mods ever, given it is the second best-selling game of all time. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. GTA 5 has still set an unbroken record of weekend release sales, making near $1 billion in the first weekend. And ever since, it has gone on to sell over 180 million copies, and that isn't including the microtransactions. And not just that, Rockstar Games, the developer and publisher, would once again make another release. I guess they really are just Skyrim with guns. It would see its most recent, and I hope, final release for Xbox Series X and PS5. It promised enhanced gameplay and features, and better graphics, severely underdelivered, and it would see less than hopeful views, and still does to this day. GTA 5 remained $60 for almost a full 5 years to maximize profit, and it did. But enough about the game, let's talk about why you're here to begin with. Or you're just here for my beautiful voice. I'd like to believe that one, but let's jacuzzi into this. Grand Theft Auto 5, GTA 5, what? Why does that evoke a feeling of home? Now, I already know what you're saying, and that's completely understandable. Well, we grew up with it, numbnuts. Of course it would be this way. What if I told you, well, you're kind of right, but what if I told you you're wrong? Just have a little bit of trust here, really. Look at this image. I'm gonna be quiet for a few seconds, so try not to have a panic attack. What do you feel? For me, it's comfort, relaxation. The feeling that even if I did get lost here, I'd find some druggie on the sidewalk, but he'd help me out. That water that I don't have to worry about drowning in. There's a bridge. I don't have to walk anywhere. There's cars. I can't see above the trees. Well, there's skyscrapers. There's hope, but above all, life. This is a real, legit, in-game screenshot. If your PC is just like mine, I can't really run all this at once, but it's very achievable. But even if you can't, it's still there. That hope. That life, that feeling of home. The air transportation. The skyscrapers that touch the sky itself. The lively structures on the ground. The dog walkers just trying to make enough money to go with their horrible boyfriend. The food trucks. The water. The trees. The grass. The clouds. The sky. You get it. The everything. It's hope. It's home. But before I can tell you why it's home, let me tell you how. I'm about to give 2 reasons. Now, I know I'm about to reach so far into you, I hope I don't give you hemorrhoids. But trust me here. My first point. This very certain map from Modern Warfare 2019. I know, it's not GTA, but just trust me, I won't be on this point long. I know what the instant dopamine baby Gronk has done to your brain, but you hear me out. This map is Scrapyard. Look at this. Yeah, this rings priest, sure. You might think the planes, the old buildings ruin what I'm saying, but if anything, you're the reason why I'm saying it's real. It's flawed. The sky, the grass, the so obvious bitter temperature this place is. The homey feeling. It's flawed. That's why it feels like home. So for something to feel like home, why is it home? Home is very subjective, but a lot of people end up saying family or something. The fact that home is where your heart is or something. They aren't entirely missing the point, but I don't agree with that. Home is comfort. Safety. But safety doesn't directly mean protection. Protection isn't penetrable. Safety is. Safety is flawed. Which goes back to my scrapyard mention. It's flawed. The old, rusted structures make it less defensible, but it makes it more realistic. Its realism allows safety, comfort, a long-lasting home. Home is comfort, not direct protection. Before I continue, I really ask you to please subscribe. This video has taken me over a week to work on. Who cares about how long it's taken a stupid guy across the country to work on it? I understand your point, and I probably don't deserve your subscribe, especially even a like, probably even your view. But I do ask, I just saw something, but I do ask kindly that you subscribe, and if you don't, I honestly support that. But just don't be surprised if you don't wake up without this little guy in the morning. Back to GTA 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 hosts one of the most realistic game worlds I've ever seen. GTA 5 as a whole, even back to the first GTA 5 release date, was made as a parody. But that's the thing about parodies. They're just exaggeration of reality, but somehow the closest to reality a media can most likely be. GTA hosts gun-running operations, cartels, government cover-ups, dysfunctional families, failed relationships you knew was a soulmate, and even you, the player, are forced into these situations. But within these horrible things, there is true humanity. Good. Hope. Giving more to others that wouldn't have it without you. Healing your past, changing your future. And killing your friends. That is a joke, but you do get what I'm saying. I think. The three main protagonists are Michael DeSanta, Trevor Phillips, and Franklin Clinton. But the true main character of the story is Franklin. Grand Theft Auto takes place in the fictional recreation of any major city that has more than 3 celebrities with questionable pasts, Los Santos. Los Santos features every sort of land formation and human creation you can imagine. Huge, bustling cities, rather terrifying sewers, and their version of the theRadBrad. Completely untouched mountain ranges, endless oceans, deserts, and a sweet home Alabama loving town. All of this, in such a small radius of each other, in a real term, is surreal. It's borderline as good as a game's map can be, and what I think it can ever be. Throughout your gameplay, you meet people called freaks. They give lore, or missions, or goofy objectives. But each freak is tied to a certain character. Blue for Michael, green for Franklin, and orange for Trevor. I can explain their color succladations with the other, but that's not this video. What do the freaks, the map, the characters, the gameplay, the story, and the lore behind the game itself has to do with the feeling it evokes? That's the thing. It doesn't. It's completely up to you to be terrified by the story, invested, never get enough of the story, or simply try to stop a train that can't be stopped. But from what I've grown up with, the pure success I've seen, and the fact I'll forever cope Kevin MacLeod with GTA, can't mean nothing. I'd like to ask you to put your bias aside for this game. Unless your brain is as small as my, you have played this game, so pretend you only know the info I've given you. Look at this video. This is in-game, and just nothing to go with it. It's calming. Compared to really any other open world games. Saints Row, Watch Dogs, or another dog, Sleeping Dogs. They just do not give off the same vibe that Grand Theft Auto 5 does. Because GTA 5 does something different. It's realism and almost pitch-near perfect replication of real life. And these other games go that mile. They make it realistic, but it doesn't work. GTA 5 still has that edge of non-reality, that small bit of parody, and that small parody does more work than your father did your entire life. Look at these images too. All of these are in-game as well, but they look similar to Fall, the season. Fall, not surprising in the slightest, Fall has a 41% tank to the other 3 seasons, almost half, and there's 3 other seasons. And why? Comfort, hope, nostalgia. Fall is when death rises and life falls. What would that be protecting, you ask? It ain't. Go back to my point, where home isn't protection, it's comfort. And the color palette of fall is so rare and appealing. The temperature, the scents, everything. It's comfort. It's home. Good point, Daddy Lurk, you may be saying. Goddamn right it is. Now that you have that knowledge, look at the same image of Scrapyard. The same video clip of GTA 5 I've shown. It evokes the feeling of home. The feeling of danger is real there, but it's not here yet. So we can relax. So we can be at home. Humans tend to enjoy things that are flawed, for some reason, because at our very base, we are flawed too. Besides me, but that's not the point. I want you to think about something you love. Maybe a person, a food, a book, maybe even that weird little stuffed animal you have. Please put that away. But my point stands. It's flawed, in some way. Sure, you may have thought, if it wasn't for this single flaw, it would be perfect. Truth is, the closer you get to perfection, the further you get. I made this quote, and it does go hard. Think of these three things. There is also a certain song, Resonance. I'm going to play a short snippet. Now pair that full song, actually check it out, it's pretty good, over the image of Scrapyard and the flawed nature of GTA, and I guarantee you will see no distinction in that and home. Home is a place in your heart. The old heads were right. But that's my point. GTA is home because it is flawed. Home is flawed. Thanks for watching, and have a mediocre day.